Get your Doom figures at BigBadToyStore at the link in the description.
Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collectors, it's Steven here, and welcome to another Doom review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the last, for this year anyway, of Numskull's vinyl figures for Doom Eternal. We're going to be taking a look at Pinky and the Revenant. Oh yeah, two fan favorites, because what do you love more than a Pinky bull rushing you out of the out of the ether to end your Ultra Nightmare run? And of course, what more do you like than having Revenant available to blast off the shoulder cannons so you can go ahead and use the bonk stick? At any rate, we do have these two figures based off of their in-game toy counterparts, which is still really cool. They're vinyl figures. They're going to be between 40 to 45 bucks. So with that being said, quality for the first four released. Some loved them, some hated them. How do they look now? Let's take a look to see whether or not these two are going to be worth adding into your collection. Go ahead and start off with the Revenant, and I got to be honest with you here, dude looks pretty good. I mean, there are really no issues. The only thing that I could foresee being a possible concern on random units that are put out there is that on his little shoulder cannons, the actual little spots where the missiles are going to come out, those look like those are stickers or decals, and I could guess that if quality control isn't as perfect as it could be, we could see some of those that are applied incorrectly, meaning that they could be, I don't know, like on the top of the cannon or whatever. But even still, with what we have here, I think the figure overall looks great. Does it look quite one-on-one to the counterpart in the game? You know that I'm going to have a section for that, so we'll hold off on that until closer to the end of the video. Now, overall, paint application, I don't have to say that they're really going to be no issues here. The whites for the teeth look just fine. And then I will say that the meaty bits that are red, those actually look like they have a nice paint application, and his guts right there by his pelvis area that are kind of spilling out, that's what it looks like anyway. Those are painted and sculpted rather nicely, so you still kind of know what's going on. Overall, the Revenant looks just fine. Now it's time for Pinky, and I have to say this is very comparable to the Cacodemon that came out previously, and the Cacodemon had a whole bunch of small things that just kind of built up to, man, I wish it could have just been a little bit better. Here, for the Pinky, I have to say pretty much all of that is taken care of. I did notice that on a couple of posts, it's actually kind of funny, in different Facebook groups, is that some Pinkies were shipped facing the wrong way in the box. So if you do happen to get that, congratulations, maybe you have a collector item. The only real serious thing that I could say is that the spikes that are going to be on Pinky's back, I do foresee those being very prone to scrapage, which mine unfortunately has just a little bit of paint damage to them right out of the box. So that's a little disappointing considering the price point, but even still, if that's going to be the only issue that I'm going to have with Pinky, then hey, fantastic. I think Numskull did a rather rock solid job here. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation for both of these, and realistically speaking, pretty short, sweet, and to the point. All the joints that you would expect here. Now, if you really want to push it, you can push Pinky's range of motion for the shoulder swivels a little bit more. However, I do want to keep in mind safety. You don't want to damage your figure. So as you can see for the Revenant, we did have our basic swivels for the shoulders and the hips, but something here, thanks to editing magic, I can show you in shooting this section, I missed a waist swivel. So just something to keep in mind. Now we're going to go ahead and move on over to a size comparison. We're not just quite there yet. So this way you can get a good idea of how big these two are going to be once you put them up on your shelf, because generally speaking, I'm going to go ahead and give these a recommendation. Now the moment you've been waiting for, the side-by-side, if you will, comparison with the in-game models. You can see that once again, unfortunately, they weren't able to really capture them one-to-one. They did have to make some concessions here and there, and I do think that they maybe are still trying to strike that balance between really bright and saturated colors for real life and the sort of milder tones that actually came out of the in-game models. Maybe this is something Numskull is still working on, but even still, I think these are a rather solid representation, specifically sculpt-wise. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. If you're a fan of the Revenant and you're a fan of Pinky, then quite frankly, I don't know why you're watching this to try to persuade you, because you should already have these. So you can go ahead and click off the video now. Overall, I think these are really awesome, and I can't wait for the next wave to come out. I think that's going to be really fun. I don't remember specifically what it's going to be, but I do know we have the Archvile. I think we have the Mancubus to wait on. Hopefully Baron of Hell. Yeah, really cool. We haven't gotten Icon of Sin announced. Let's get on that. Do a Build-A-Figure. Anyway, for these two here, I do think that they are rather rock solid and they are worth the purchase if you can get them for a rather good deal.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.